In today's class, in this lecture, we are going to see gravitational field. Okay. So, I have told you very clearly, field will cause force. So, today's topic is gravitational field represented by symbol Eg. Okay. Now, as I have told you, okay, field is caused by some source of mass. Okay, mass will cause field, and because of field, okay, you will have force. Okay, field causes force. Now, let us say you have a mass of m. Now, if this mass is your source, okay, the presence of field around this mass, will be given by field lines. Okay, field lines will give you the force. Field lines will give you the field value. From field you will have force. Now, if you take some point P at some distance r, okay, at some distance r, if you take some point P, now your gravitational field, it is a vector. Okay, your gravitational field Eg bar is a vector. Okay, so this vector will have two things. First one is magnitude and second one is direction. Okay, this vector is having two things. One is magnitude and other is direction. Now, coming to the magnitude part, okay, how will you get magnitude part is place 1 kg force. Okay, you are supposed to place 1 kg mass. Okay, place 1 kg mass at that point. Force on 1 kg is your force on 1 kg is your gravitational field. Okay, magnitude of force. Okay, magnitude of force on 1 kg is your field. Direction is same as that of force. Okay, direction is same as that of force. Okay. So, your gravitational field, it is a vector. It will have two things. One is magnitude and is other one is direction. So, to get the magnitude, place 1 kg mass at that particular point, and that force on 1 kg is your magnitude of gravitational field, and coming to the direction, it is same as that of force. Now, why did this definition come? I will tell you. Okay, your field definition is, your gravitational field is, okay, it is force limit of mass tends to 0, your force on mass by mass. Okay, that is actually force per unit mass. Okay, unit mass, F by m. So, let me keep some capital M here. Okay, you are supposed to calculate your force per unit mass. So, now this F by m, if you take G capital M small m, if you are taking some small m mass, by r square by small m. Okay, this is your test mass. Okay, this small m is your test mass, capital M is your source mass. Okay, so your gravitational field correct definition is this. Okay, which is force by mass, force per unit mass. So m will go off, you are going to get gm by r square, direction is towards left. Okay, your gravitational field direction is towards left, it is gm by r square and it is towards left. Okay, so if you directly want to calculate this, if you place 1 kg, okay, at this point your field direction is this way because there is attraction and it is gm by r square, its direction will be towards left, okay. Your field is a vector quantity, because it is a vector quantity you are supposed to give the direction, okay, right. So copy this thing down, and if you have any doubts just keep commenting, I will try to explain, okay. All right, so your force per unit mass is your field, okay, force per unit mass is your field. Now let's continue further, okay. I'll erase this part. Now because of point mass it is gm by r square, okay. So if you have combination of masses, what will happen, or what is the definition of field, let me tell you, okay. So my point is, because of point mass okay, if you have some mass m like this, your field it is defined at a point, remember this, okay, remember this. Your force is on a body, okay, force developed on a body or force acting on a body is what we say, okay, force on a body. Next, field and potential, okay, field represented by Eg is defined at a point, okay, field and also potential, okay, potential it is represented by symbol V, okay. So field and potential is defined, okay, are defined at a point, okay. So they are defined at a point, okay, they are defined at a point, force on a body and field and potential at a point, okay. Next, energy, potential energy you will define in this chapter, okay, potential energy for a system, okay. So you have to be very careful with the language, okay. You will define energy for a system, field and potential at a point, and force developed or acting on a body. Now if you take this mass m, okay, because of this mass m, okay, your field at this particular point, if you are taking this as some x1 comma y1 comma z1 and coordinates of this point as x2 comma y2 comma z2, from here to here if this distance is r bar, okay, your field is a vector, and if you are defining r cap is your unit vector, okay. So now in terms of simple English, if you are trying to write your field vector in English, your field vector EP bar is G times capital M by R square, direction is towards left, because if you just simply place 1 kg here, this 1 kg mass will get attracted by this capital M, okay. So 1 kg mass will be attracted by capital M, okay. Hope you have, I mean, I am erasing this stuff. Remember this is important, because looking at the language itself you are supposed to understand what is actually being asked in the question, okay. So if you do not do so, then obviously you will struggle later. So let me continue. So hope you have understood my point. So next thing is, okay, your field is gm by r square, it is left, and if you are writing in terms of vectors, so vectorially if you are writing, this part is your magnitude, gm by r square is magnitude, left is your direction. So in terms of maths, if you are writing, what is your r bar means, r bar is a vector from x1 y1 z1 to x2 y2 z2. So your r bar vector is x2 minus x1 times I cap plus y2 minus y1 times j cap plus z2 minus z1 times k cap is your r bar vector, and your unit vector r cap is r bar by mod r, where your magnitude of r is under root x component square, that is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. Okay, so this is your magnitude of the vector model. Now coming to the vectorial part, your vectorial part is your field at point P is, if you are trying to write in terms of vectors, okay, it is g times m by r square. Here unit is actually Newton per kg is the unit. Okay, I have told you your force is mass times field. Your field is F by m. So remember this relation, gravitational field times mass will give you force. Okay, your force on m is mass times field. So this side unit is Newton, for mass it is kg. Newton per kg will give you field. So your EM electric field, gravitational field. Okay, I told you this chapter is similar to electrostatics. So that is why I'm slipping my tongue in terms of instead of mass, I'm talking of charge. Instead of gravitational field, I'm talking of electric field. Okay, so don't get confused with that part. So your gravitational field is gm by r square times minus r cap, because it is attraction. Okay, it is gm by r square into r cap, or you can write it as minus gm by r cube into r bar. Okay, where r bar is r bar vector's tail is at this point. Okay, right. Next you can also write it as, this is enough. Okay, like this you will be able to give the gravitational field because of point mass. Okay, so because of continuous masses, what is to be done I will explain later, but first, okay, hope you have understood this. Okay, later we will see. Okay, later because of continuous masses, what will happen is, because of continuous masses, your small electric field, small gravitational field d represents small gravitational field. So small gravitational field dE bar is g times small mass dm you have to take. So g times dm by r square, where dm is your small elemental mass. Okay, so to get total field, here you will write integral of dE bar will give you total resultant gravitational field. Okay, so this you are supposed to do for continuous mass distributions. Okay, so first I will give brief introduction of field and potential, then I will explain because of continuous masses or mass distributions how to calculate field and potential. Okay, hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay, it is a vector, so direction is important. Okay, so potential is a scalar. For potentials there is no direction, but field it is a vector. So for field definitely you should mention or mark the direction. Okay, copy it down. Those who are watching, you just copy it down. Okay, hope there are no doubts. You can pause the video and then copy this stuff down. Okay, so I'll erase this. So simple question I will give you. There is a 2 kg mass placed at 3, minus 2, 5. There is some point P at a distance of 3 meters. Not 3, 5, at some other point 5, 2, minus 1. Question is, find gravitational field at P. Find EP bar. 1 minute time, give the answer. You can pause the video clip if you want to try. So I'll start explaining the solution. Hope you have tried for sufficient time. I have explained just now. First, your R bar is, this is x1, this is x2, this is y2. So I am not supposed to give this distance. This question is wrong. I should not give 5 meters. Okay. I just randomly gave the coordinates. You are supposed to find out. So your R bar is 5 minus 3 I cap plus 2 minus of minus 2 j cap plus minus 1 minus 5 k cap. So your R bar will be 5 minus 3, it is 2 I cap plus 2 plus 2, it is 4 j cap minus 6 k cap. This is your vector R bar. Okay, right. Next, your magnitude of R bar is under root 2 square plus 4 square plus minus 6 whole square. So that is equal to under root 2 square is 4. 4 plus 4 square is 16. 16 plus 6 square is 36. So 36 plus 4 46. This is square root of 56. Okay. Your magnitude of distance is this much. Now your R cap will be R bar by mod R. So that will become 1 by root 56 of 2 I cap plus 4 j cap minus 6 k cap. So coming to the value, okay, I have calculated only the position vector. Now your field at this point is g times mass m by r square into, I have told you it is minus of r cap. Okay, so what is r here is magnitude of the distance. So it is root 56. So g value is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 into mass value, how much it is, means it is 2 whole divided by position vector r square. So r is under root, so this is root 56 whole square times minus of r cap vector. You bring it and substitute into this equation, you will get the required answer. Okay, so I just randomly took the mathematical values that have actually struck my mind. Okay, so you should not struggle in deciding what are the values. So this is how you are supposed to take the values. Alright, next, your next thing is, this is regarding your field. Okay, so now next is your principle of superposition of fields. So because of point mass we have seen what is the field. Next we will be seeing because of multiple point charges. Okay, so that is, your heading is your principle of superposition of fields. Principle of superposition of fields. Okay, so what is your principle of superposition of fields? I will explain, observe carefully. So if you have a point mass m1 at some distance r1, if you have one more point mass m2 at some distance r2, if you have another point mass m3 at some distance r3, and one more point mass m4 like this, and one more point mass m5 like this, sorry, r5, and mass is m5. Now if you are trying to calculate field at this point, now at this point what is that you are supposed to do? To calculate field, what did I tell you? Just simply place plus 1 kg. So if you place for mass there is no plus sign. Okay, just simply place 1 kg, that's all. So if you place 1 kg mass, this 1 kg mass will be attracted by this, which will cause some field E1. 1 kg mass is also attracted by, attracted by M2. 1 kg mass is attracted by M3. 1 kg mass is attracted by M4. 1 kg mass is also attracted by M5. So now indirectly your resultant field at that particular point, E resultant is, it is E1 bar plus E2 bar plus E3 bar plus so on up to En bar. Okay, now you must have studied how to write each vector in terms of I cap and j cap. Okay, So I have explained, and even in the previous principle of superposition of forces, you must know how to write each vector in terms of I cap and j cap. So if you have known how to write everything in terms of I cap and j cap, so you will be able to do the answers. So next step is, what you will do is, you will take the axis. Okay, in the next step, choose proper axis, write each vector in terms of ij. Okay, I cap and j cap. So E1 bar is some E1x I cap plus E1y j cap. E2 bar also will have its own x component plus its own y component, so on up to how many masses are there, that many fields will be there, so on j cap. So add all the x components, that will give you that particular x component I cap plus add all the y components, that will give you some y component, sum of y components j cap. So that will give you your resultant electric field. Okay, so coming to the magnitude part, once you get the final vector, your magnitude is given by mod of resultant field is under root ex square plus ey square, and your direction is tan alpha is equal to ey by ex. This gives alpha is angle with positive x. Okay, so and tan beta is equal to ex by ey, where beta is angle with positive y axis. Like this you are supposed to give different values and then simplify it. Okay, hope you have understood what I have explained and there are no doubts at all. Okay, so now let us continue further. So this is your principle of superposition of fields. Now let's directly start jumping into some problems. We'll do some problems and then we'll come back. So we will start with basic questions. I am erasing this. Your first relation is null point calculation. Null point calculation. What will you do here? I will tell you. Okay, so null point means it is a point where your gravitational field is 0. Okay, so at null point, I write very clearly, at null point gravitational field is 0. So magnitude of gravitational field is 0. So now let us say you have a point mass m1 here. Let us say the distance is d between these two and this is m2. Now you are supposed to give a point where your gravitational field is 0. Hope you are getting what I am trying to explain here. You are supposed to identify a point where your field is 0. Okay, so now to get the point where field is 0, first let's check at which position it will come. So that means here 3 null point could be here point 1, okay, somewhere here point 2, somewhere here point 3. 3 possibilities are there. Okay, any other point you take, I mean because of m1 it will be this way, because of m2 it will be this way, resultant will be in between. So for net force to become 0, what is the condition? Two vectors should be equal and opposite to each other. Then only these two vectors, if it is some a and b or some f1 and f2, what will happen? For sum of these two forces to be 0, what must happen is your net force to become 0, force on right should be equal to force on the left. Okay, so equal magnitude should be there and direction should be opposite to each other. Now coming to this part, if you take here the force here, your force on 1, if you take, this 2 will be attracted, I mean if you place just simply 1 kg mass here, So because of m1 it is this way, because of m2 also it is this way. So at this point field becoming 0 is practically not possible, because these two masses both are attracting each other. So this point is not allowed at all. Next, if you consider this point 3, your force because of 2 it will be this way, force because of 1 also it will be this way. So here also at point 3 there is no possibility of field becoming 0. For field to become 0, okay, your E1 and E2, field because of first one and field because of second one, okay, E1 and E2. I should not mark F1 and F2, I should mark E1 and E2. So two vectors which are acting in same direction can never contribute to zero field or force. So obviously you should have somewhere some point here, somewhere it is in between. So let us say the distance is x here, the distance here is d minus x. Okay, so if the distance is x and this distance is d minus x, at 2 if you take, at point 2 in between, because of m1 your field E1 is g times m1 by x square. Okay, this m1 mass will attract this field, so E1 is g times mass m1 by x square. Next, because of m2 your field is E2, E2 is g times m2 by d minus x whole square. Okay, so you have got gm1 by x square and gm2 by d minus x whole square. Okay, so once you get this, what is your resultant electric field? Your resultant electric field is E resultant is 0 at null point. At null point what will happen? Your resultant field is 0. For resultant field to be 0, these two vectors as I have explained, these two must have equal magnitude and they must lie in opposite direction. Now if they have equal magnitude, what will happen? G m1 by x square is equal to g times m2 by d minus x whole square. Okay, so g will cancel off. So this will give you d minus x by x whole square is equal to m2 by m1. D minus x by x is under root m2 by m1, which you are supposed to take actually plus or minus. Okay, so negative sign we will eliminate. Here we will not take the negative root. Why we are not taking the negative root means we have already fixed the position. Once we fix the position, obviously we are considering only magnitude. Magnitude is a positive quantity for a vector. So you should not take the negative root. You have to consider only the positive root. So that will give you d minus x by x is equal to under root m2 by m1. So cross multiplying this, d minus x is equal to x times under root m2 by m1. d is x times 1 plus under root m2 by m1, where your x is d by 1 plus under root m2 by m1. So in this formula what is important is this x is the, many people will forget this x is distance from m1. Distance from m1 is this much. Your x is the distance from m1. Distance from x2 if you want, just simply do d minus x. d minus x will give you the distance from m2. Okay, so hope you have understood this and there are no doubts. Okay, so please do follow this, and if you have any doubts please just let me know. Okay, so this is your null point. Okay, so at null point what is happening? Your field is going to become 0. So general points they can ask you, so don't get terrified, you just simply try to apply principle of superposition. Write each vector in terms of ij and you will be getting the answer. Okay, alright. Next is, let us say you have combinations. Okay, you are supposed to find out field because of different ones. Alright, so your next part is, your next question is, let us say you have m, 2m, 3m, 4m like this. They are at sides of square. Okay. What is your question is, I will tell you. Okay. So find field at P. Find field at P. Find gravitational field at point P. 1 minute time. So to get field, even if I keep one more mass, it doesn't matter. Whether I keep m or not, your field will be there because of all. Okay. So because of m, there will be no field at that particular point because that mass is already at that particular point. So to get the field, what will you do? To get the field, what is that you are supposed to do is, if you place 1 kg here and if you define your axis this way, if you mark this as 1, 2, 3, now observe carefully. So because of 1, your field is this way, where your E1 is g times mass is 4m by distance is d square. Okay, gm by d square. So g times 4m by d square. So because of this mass, there is attraction. Okay, because of 1 kg, this 4m mass will attract. So it is g times 4m by d square. Okay, next. E2 bar is g times mass m by your distance is this part, it is how much means d root 2. D and d, it is a square. So diagonally is d root 2. So it is gm by d root 2 whole square. This angle will anyhow be 45 degrees. Okay. So that is your field. So it is g times 3m because the mass here is 3m. So 3m mass will attract 1 kg, right? Next. So because of this E1 is this way, because of this E2 is this way, because of this E3 will be this way. So what is E3? Your E3 is g times mass is 2m by your distance is d square. So this angle is 45. So g times 2m by d square. Okay. So this is your E3. So now write each vector in terms of I cap and j cap. So gm by d square, if you take it as E naught, so you will get this part as 4 E naught. Okay. E naught you are assuming it as g times m by d square. Okay. That will make your calculation easy. So this will become 3 by 2 times E naught. And this part will become 2 E naught. So writing each vector in terms of I cap and j cap, your first vector is along negative x-axis. Okay. If you do not know how to write a vector in terms of I cap and j cap, please do refer to my vectors playlist channel. In that particular channel, I have explained how to write each vector in terms of I and j. So your E1 bar, how much it is means, it is minus 4 E naught I cap plus 0 j cap because it is along negative x-axis. Okay. Next, second E2 vector is your E2 bar is minus 3 by 2 E naught cos 45 I cap plus minus, because it is in third quadrant, 3 by 2 E naught sin 45 j cap. Next, E3 bar, it is 0 I cap minus 2 E naught j cap because it is along negative x-axis. So add the corresponding x components, add the corresponding y components, and then give the final answer. Okay. So like this you are supposed to give field because of point charges. Alright. So let's continue further. So once you have calculated field, you have to add like this because of each vectorially. So next, your next one is, let us say you have 3 masses like this, m, and this is centroid, side distance is d. Find field at O. Find EO, that is your question. You are supposed to find out gravitational field at point O. Give it a try, 1 minute time. I will explain the solution. Now, I have explained very clearly, if it is an equilateral triangle, to get the centroidal distance, this part is d by 2 automatically, this angle is 30 degrees, this part will be x, this part is y. If you take cos 30 is adjacent side by hypotenuse, adjacent side is d by 2, hypotenuse is y. Cos 30 is sin 60, root 3 by 2 is equal to d by 2y, 2 will cancel off, y is equal to d by root 3. Okay. So now, what is it you are supposed to do? If you choose a reference line like this, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So your first vector will be along this way. This angle is 30 degrees, 90, 60 degrees. This side it will be 60 degrees. This is because of 2, because of 3 it will be this way. Okay, where your distance is y. So now if you choose your axis, if I try to draw a different diagram, so first one is E1 is equal to g times m by y square. This angle is 60 degrees. Because of second, E2 is gm by y square. This angle is also 60 degrees. Your E3 is also gm by y square. It is along y axis. Okay. Alright. Now next thing is, I have told you your field is a vector. So vectors you have to add them vectorially. So parallelogram law is valid only for two vectors. If you have more than two vectors, you cannot add vectors using parallelogram law. It becomes difficult for you. So to simplify the values, here your E1 bar is, it is in third quadrant. So minus gm by y square sin 60 I cap minus gm by y square cos 60 j cap. Okay, that is your first vector. It is in third quadrant. So negative x and negative y. Okay, please do remember, same things will be even in your second year electrostatics. So if you do not learn things now properly, you will not follow that chapter as well. So please do learn vectors. If you do not learn how to add vectors, then you will not do anything in entire physics. Differentiation, integration and vectors you must learn at any cost. Okay, majority of the people, they do not know how to add vectors. So how will you get marks in physics if you do not know how to just simply add vectors? Next, your E2 bar is gm by y square sin 60 I cap minus gm by y square cos 60 j cap, and your third one is E3 bar is 0 I cap minus gm by y square j cap. Now you add this, plus minus will cancel off, x component is anyhow directly cancelling off. Cos 60 is, this is plus because it is along positive y. So cos 60 is sin 30 1 by 2 1 by 2. So gm by 2y square gm by 2y square, that will become gm by y square. So it is just simply 0 I cap plus 0 j cap. So you are going to get a null vector for your resultant field at that particular centroid. Okay, so different hexagon they can give you, they can ask different questions, but don't get terrified, you just simply keep doing this. Alright, now they can ask you questions mixing this to some hexagon point masses, pentagon point masses, like that. What is to be done, I will tell you. So in certain questions you have to do something. What is that, I will tell you. So for example, in this scenario itself, let us say you are given a hexagon. So you have point masses placed along regular sides of hexagon like this, and you are being asked field at O. So only five equal masses are kept. This distance is D. Only 5 are kept. Okay, here no mass. Question is find field at O. Find field at O. Okay, so that is your question and you are supposed to give answer to this question. Now in this question, how will you actually calculate the answer? I will tell you. So how is that you can calculate the answer is, if you take a regular hexagon like this, for a regular hexagon, all sides are equal. For a regular hexagon, all sides are equal. Okay, right? So D, 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 all are equal. Alright. So if you take this as M, 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 now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Totally how many masses are there? There are 5 masses. Now I will keep at the sixth one, I will keep plus M and minus M. Okay, assuming that there is some negative mass, I will keep plus M and minus M. Now if you observe carefully, E1 will attract this way, E4 will attract this way, they will cancel off each other. And E2 will attract 1 kg mass. Okay, what did I tell you? For field, just simply place 1 kg. If you place 1 kg, 1 kg mass is attracted by 2 this way, 1 kg mass is attracted by 5 this way. So these two will cancel off. Okay, now because of third one, okay, because of the third one, E3 is this way. Now here there are 6 and 7, totally 6 and 7. Okay, because here there is no mass, I am keeping plus M and minus M. So I am assuming that there is some positive mass as well as negative mass. So because of positive mass, if I keep it as plus M, because of negative mass, if I keep it as minus M, plus M will attract this way. So that is E6. Negative mass will repel. So E7 will be this way. So E6 and E3 will cancel off. So your E resultant at O is E bar because of 6 masses plus E bar because of negative mass. Okay, totally there are 5. Your 5 is 6 minus 1. Because of 6 masses, your field is 0. They will cancel off each other. Because of this negative mass only, it will remain. So negative mass, it will repel from here to here. Your regular hexagon is divided into 6 equilateral triangles. So from here to here, the distance is D. So it is Gm by D square. Okay, right? Gm by D square, and direction is towards right. So indirectly it is opposite to missing mass. Opposite to missing mass. Like this you are supposed to give answers. Okay, sometimes you have to add this positive and negative mass to compensate. They can ask you like they can give you cuboid, and opposite corners of the cube they will cancel off if complete set is there, but out of that they will remove 1 or 2 masses and they will ask you to calculate the remaining mass. So if such kind of questions come, you are supposed to do them carefully like this. Okay, right? With this we will stop the